Welcome back. We are here with another candidate for the City of Dearborn City Council, Leslie Herrick, actually council member, right?
Yes, I am.
And that's good to have you here. Leslie, what does Leslie Herrick think the big issues affecting the City of Dearborn are, the voters?
Well, obviously, we've had a few really tough years in Dearborn and across the country with the pandemic, and the fiscal challenges we're going to have going ahead even after the pandemic, and figuring out what we're going to do with the federal funds, the ARPA funds, going forward, so we can use them to benefit residents into the future. And so those are big decisions that have to be made this next year. The past few years, we've been struggling with, providing the quality of services that residents have come to expect over the years, with not the same pool of funds that they had 30 years ago. And so maintaining that level of service is priority for me. And so between managing the budget and providing those services, that's top priority. But infrastructure is obviously what's on top of mind for everybody. The flooding that we've seen, why has it happened, and what do we need to do to provide relief for the residents who've been impacted and to stop it as best we can going forward. So I think that's what's top of mind for everybody.
Those are kind of oppositional things because fixing infrastructure costs money. So how do you propose, though, to work on the infrastructure? What do you think is the best way to go about that?
Well, two things. One is the federal funds, the $48 million that we are looking at getting from the federal government as federal relief after COVID. There are things that we're allowed to use it for and things we're not allowed to use it for, but to spend it where we can and use our other budget money to fund some of the infrastructure things that maybe wouldn't have been afforded otherwise if we didn't have those ARPA funds. But the first thing that Council has voted to do is we're bringing an expert to help evaluate this 100-year-old system that we have from east to west, north to south in Dearborn. We've got varying different sizes of pipes and age of the system, and something's not working right, clearly. And we need to be able to address more watershed, more rain that we're seeing. I don't think that's going away, so we need to be able to hold that water through our sewer system and using other green measures and changing the mindset of homeowners, of how city operates and how businesses operate to deal with the water that we're seeing.
So how do you get that message across to the property owners and business owners?
Well, that's going to be part of the plan going forward. We have a lot of change in Dearborn coming next year, and part of it is communications, more transparency with the things that we already have been doing right, using new technology. We're kind of behind the curve in how much, using technology to make it user-friendly for people to do business with City Hall, whether they're coming in or over the phone or online. We need new technology to deal with all that. And so it's kind of one thing leads to another, but we've got a great opportunity ahead with new leadership in the mayor's office and on City Council with new ideas. And again, the federal funding that is a one-time shot in the arm that we'll have to use wisely.
And Dearborn's always been a great place to live. You want to keep that up, I imagine.
Yep, that's why I ran in the first place. Is a great place for me to grow up, and I wanted my son and his friends and their families to have the same opportunities. A city, we've got phenomenal first response. Our fire and police are top-notch, and we need to keep that because that's the first priority for everybody is their public safety. But that's not all of what a city needs to be for quality of life. So we need to protect our parks and our pools and recreation and our city services, keeping the streets clean, maintaining the look of our neighborhoods, the variety of housing that's available. All of that is what provides quality of life in our city, and we need to maintain that.
Well, you've got about half a minute or so to talk to that camera, which is the people of the city of Dearborn. And Leslie Herrick, why should they pick you?
Well, one of the things that separates me from any of the other candidates, of course, is that I've been on council for the past 4 years. And people elected me because they wanted to see me serve after having worked for the Dearborn schools and working at Dearborn City Hall and the nonprofit community fund, because my heart is in Dearborn. This is my backyard. And so I have that experience on council. I'm the only council member that's been through training through the Michigan Municipal League for Elected Officials Academy. And so that's given me a broader understanding of city government and how our government operates here in Dearborn and how others do, and the network that I've built to look at what our other cities and municipalities doing in Dearborn. So between that experience and, of course, the volunteer service I've done over the years, I have a great working relationship going back historically with Dearborn, but the lots of friends I've made over the last 4 years as I've worked to get to know the issues across the city and get to know the people who are living in the neighborhoods and the businesses that are operating from one end of the city to the other. It's been my privilege to get to know people that I had never met before and to try and hear their concerns and address those at a city level.
Well, Councilmember Leslie Herrick, congratulations on getting this far. Good luck on November 2nd. And keep on working for the city of Dearborn. Okay?
Thank you, Gary. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with another candidate in just a minute or so.